CTV News at 6 with Hudson Mack.
MLAs will be working late nights at the BC Legislature this week as the Clark government pushes through back-to-work legislation on striking teachers. Bill 22 should be law by the end of the week. The bill ends the teachers' job action and imposes a cooling-off period. Also lays down the groundwork for the appointment of a mediator to try to get the two sides together. The legislation does not have any provision for negotiating more money for teachers, though. The opposition is wondering why the Liberals are turning up the heat right now, limiting debate. The government says enough is enough.
I'm convinced that we need to have this done by Thursday because all students will come back from a total spring break in the province of BC by a week after that. And at that point in time, they're entitled to get report cards and all the rest of it.
Why would you close the door on any number of opportunities to resolve the long-standing issues of division between the teachers' union and the employer?
The opposition wants the government to take the March break to see if an independent mediator can find a solution to the dispute. Bill 22 calls for the education minister to appoint the Labour mediator. MLAs will continue debating till 9 at night. The vote will be called Thursday. That's the last day the House sits before it goes on spring break. The Liberal majority will ensure that Bill 22 becomes law. And the next contract fight may be with BC's nurses. Their union is pushing for what it calls safer staffing levels, demanding that the province hire 2,000 more nurses. Hundreds of nurses gathered in Vancouver today for their annual convention. The hot topic was the ongoing chronic staff shortages. The BC Nurses Union contract is set to expire at the end of this month, and the union is negotiating for a new 4-year contract. The union is also launching a new TV advertising campaign to try to draw public attention to the issue, showcasing nurses who are struggling to provide quality care in challenging work conditions. The union president says BC's 30,000 nurses are burning out.
Our concerns about the healthcare system that we share with patients around overcrowding, shortage of staff, people falling through the cracks, those continue unabated. And so unless our government and our employer have their heads firmly up their butts, if I might put it so bluntly, they can't help but notice that we are in something of a crisis around staffing in our hospitals, and it needs to be addressed.
On Wednesday, nurses will hit the streets with leaflets asking for your support in their campaign for better patient care. Saanich police have a warning for you tonight to keep an eye out for card skimmers after 3 alleged fraudsters from the Lower Mainland were caught trying to steal a pin pad out of an outlet at the Uptown Shopping Centre. Police say the 3 men were chased out of the Kula store, which is a yogurt place at Uptown, by the owner on Saturday night. He saw the group trying to steal the pin pad. As the trio fled the store, an officer happened to be driving by. They flagged him down. He caught up with the 3 suspects in the underground parkade at Uptown near Walmart. The men were cuffed and taken into custody. An officer said they couldn't believe what they found.
Our officer entered and confronted 3 males standing near a Mercedes and took them into custody with the assistance of other arriving officers. So there was a significant amount of evidence that was recovered from the 3 males as they were taken into custody. And that evidence led to a search warrant being completed and executed at a local hotel. That was done yesterday afternoon, and a significant amount of evidence was recovered. It includes things like stolen point-of-sale machines, parts of those machines, tools used to tamper with them and take them apart.
Police say when they went to the hotel, a 4th man showed up. He was arrested. All 4 are still in Saanich police custody. They're facing 16 charges of identity theft. Well, people living in Cowichan and Bay had warned that this was going to happen. It was just last week we were talking to them, and it didn't take long for a big storm to prove them right. The high winds have unleashed that derelict fishing boat, the Dominion 1, causing it to break free and damage other vessels that were moored in the cove. The 40-year-old boat was pulled up from its anchor, causing it to drift deeper into the bay. The Canadian Coast Guard says it'll tow the Dominion 1 back out into the middle of the bay and away from the other vessels in the area. The owner of the boat says it won't be there much longer. He's in Oregon, but says a San Diego-based scrapper will be along soon to tow it to Mexico to cut up. A body found at the side of the Inland Island Highway outside Courtenay late last week has now been identified as that of a missing 33-year-old woman from the Central Coast. Police say Elizabeth Lagus of Kingcome Inlet was traveling to Campbell River on Tuesday for a series of medical appointments, but on Wednesday she missed one of them and her family reported her missing. Lagus had spoken to her family the night before, and her body was found Friday morning on the Inland Island Highway north of Courtenay. The cause of her death remains under investigation, but autopsy results will not be back for at least a week. If you think you saw Elizabeth Lagas in Campbell River between 10 o'clock on Tuesday night and 2 o'clock Wednesday morning, you're asked to contact Campbell River RCMP.